Howdy everybody, it's your pal Misty. Sit back, relax, and get ready to enjoy some conversation. No, it's not really a conversation because you listen. But do you know what could make it a conversation? When you comment. So please do. Please comment on the videos if you'd like, or comment on Facebook. That's fine. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time pulling out today. I had to park in a different spot. And there's a curb right there. Made it tricky. We're not going to go to the street because that will make us frustrated. So, the last video about my favorite actor got a lot of comments. Well, a lot for me. And then my mom and I ended up going back and forth and back and forth. So, one, thank you for telling me y'all's favorite actors. Hold on, we gotta get up on the street. For those of you who don't know 1960, you just have to be brave and you just gotta go. You don't wait for other people. You don't hope you're gonna fit in. You just go. So I have to pay attention when I do that. Alright, so favorite actor. So I said, and I still stick to it, my favorite actor is Tom Hanks. I love Tom Hanks. I think he's great, and I can't wait for him to be in the new Mr. Rogers movie. So then my mom said Steve Martin. And I was like, oh yeah, he's great too. But I think of him as a TV person. And so then she proceeded, of course, to list out all of his movies. Well, not all of them. She only listed like 5 or 6. But there's some. Steve Martin has some of my favorite movies. Like from back in the day, especially. The Jerk is one of the few movies that I quote. Because one thing y'all might not know about me is I love movies, but I don't quote movies. Like, my cousins Stephanie and Stacy have whole conversations together through movie quotes. Or you know, where's that from? I don't know. I will have watched a movie 1,000 times and you'll quote it and I won't know where it's from. With very few exceptions. And one of those exceptions is The Jerk. The Jerk is an amazing movie. If you haven't seen it, go see it. But then he was also in All of Me with Lily Tomlin, who's another favorite of mine. He was in The Man with Two Brains. What was the one with the plaid? Something, Dead Men Wear Plaid. Roxanne. Just about a bunch of movies. My Father, the Bride. There's so many movies. Parenthood. There's so many movies, right? But for whatever reason, my brain makes him a TV person. And so I was going back and forth. I was like, I didn't say that my reasoning was sound. I just said that for whatever reason, my brain thinks of Steve Martin as a TV actor. But then as the day went on and I started thinking about it more and more, I think I figured out why my brain does that. Well, I mean, nobody can really figure out exactly why my brain does anything. Even me. But I started thinking of all of those movies. And none of those movies did I see in a theater. I've seen all of those movies on TV. So I think my brain equates seeing Steve Martin on TV and seeing Tom Hanks in the theater. Because y'all know y'all may not know, but for those of you who know me, and now for those of you who don't, I love going to the movie theater. I always have for as long as I can remember. I love to see a movie in a theater. I like the smell, the sound, the people around you, well, now I get comfortable chairs because I get to pick my seat. I get a comfortable chair. So it's definitely advanced in the last few years to make the movie watching experience even better. But I started thinking about that, and so I started thinking, well, Lily Tomlin's one of my favorites as far as actresses, but I think of her as more of a TV actress too, because she's done a lot on TV, but she's done a lot of movies, but most of the things that I've seen her in were on TV. So I think that's why my brain does that. I love Steve Martin. He's always reminded me of my dad in just his dry wit. I also love when he plays the banjo. I just think it's really cool to hear him sing and play the banjo. His Netflix special that he has out is super funny with what's his name? Oh, come on, Misty. And we're just gonna skip it. I've had a long day today. Anyway, he's got a new Netflix special and he plays the banjo on it. Go watch it if you haven't. But I think that's what it is. I think my brain thinks of Tom Hanks as a movie actor because I see him in the movies. And my brain thinks of Steve Martin as a TV actor because I see him on the TV. But he's not. Those were movies that were in a theater, but I guess they were before a time that I really got to go to a theater as much as I wanted. That wasn't until I got older and started making my own money, you know, and all that kind of stuff. So, sorry, my head was itching. So I think that's maybe where my brain does that. So Steve Martin, definitely top of my list, just he wasn't on the top of my actor list. Then another one that my Aunt Judy said was Harrison Ford. Now, let me tell you a fun story about me and Harrison Ford. I mean, we've never met or anything, but my Aunt Judy is part of the reason why I love some of these movies that I love. One of them was being Star Wars. Y'all know, big Star Wars fan. Huge Han Solo fan. Han shot first. Just if you wanted to know where I stand on that. But I remember watching Star Wars at her house on the TV. We're back to TVs again, but that's not where this is going. I watched it, and I'll probably one day do the whole Star Wars and why I like it and all that stuff. It's on my list of things to talk about. But I was also a big Indiana Jones fan when that came out, with all the, you know, people from overseas that you never really saw in movies, which now when you look back it wasn't really accurately done and was a little bit racist maybe, but you know, back then in the early 80s, you know, and he was this huge character. And I remember the day where I realized that Han Solo was Indiana Jones. I blew my mind apart. I didn't even know how can that be? I was old enough to realize that they're actors and old enough to understand what that meant, but I guess that was the first time it had ever impacted me to where, like, it was somebody that I really liked Han Solo. I still like Han Solo. I still like Harrison Ford. He's been in a lot of other good movies. Good choice, by far. But, obviously, two of his biggest franchises are the Star Wars and Indiana Jones. Those are two of the things that he will be known for forever, in my opinion. So, definitely good choice, Aunt Juju. But I just remember that, and I'm curious, did anybody else ever go through that? Maybe not with Harrison Ford, but with anybody else? Were you like a big fan of a franchise or a big fan of a person or a character, I guess, really, and then realize, like, that's the same person? I mean, because he looks so different in the two movies. When you look at him in Star Wars and then you look at him in Indiana Jones, I mean, now I see it, but, you know, back then, I didn't see it, and I just remember my mind being just blown open. And it was funny because it wasn't that he was Harrison Ford, but for me it was that Han Solo was Indiana Jones. He wasn't. Harrison Ford was both of them, but that's sort of the way my brain processed it, I guess. So, I forgot I had a head itch. Y'all don't care what my hair looks like, so I don't even know why I worried. But I'm gonna go in the store here in a second. So that was not really an update to my favorite actor, because I would still say my favorite actor is Tom Hanks. But Steve Martin is one of my favorites. I don't think there's been a movie in that he had that I haven't enjoyed. And Han Solo is... I even like Solo. The movie Solo. A lot of people didn't like it. Now I realize you could have done a lot more. You could have done things differently, or included pieces, or maybe done an even younger version of Han. But I enjoyed that movie. I thought it was well done as far as the character. So... Anyway, those are my thoughts on that today, and I hope y'all are having a great day. Like this video if you haven't already. Subscribe if you know how. Thank you for the new subscribers. Still hoping to hit 25. Thanks, Mom, for sharing the video. Hopefully that'll help. Thanks, Billy, for following. Maybe you're watching this video now. I know you comment all the time on my Skinny Misty page, and I really appreciate that. So anyone who joins and watches, let me know. I'll be happy to, give you a shout out. Oh, Jeremiah also commented. Thank you, Jeremiah. He said Woody Harrelson was one of his favorites in a movie that I had never seen. And he said it's a great movie, but he's only in it for like 10 or 15 minutes, but still, actually he said the movie might not be that great, but his performance was one of the best performances in that movie. So, and Woody Harrelson's been in a lot of good stuff. To me, though, I equate him to Cheers, and so he's a TV person, not a movie actor. Even though he's been in some really good movies, most of his really good stuff has been on TV, in my opinion. Again, that's why it can be a conversation, to where I make a video, y'all reply to that video, and then the moment I go back and forth about why my brain is dumb, and then I figure it out, and then I get to tell y'all, hey, I learned something new about myself. I think if I see your movies on TV that you're a TV person, and if I see them in the theater, then I think you're an actor. You're still an actor if you're on TV, Misty. But that's what we've learned today. So if you have any comments, please do so below. Does your brain do any weird things? Or like I said, did you have a character who you realized was actually another character that you really enjoyed and didn't know? I know that happens with voiceovers sometimes, but for me it was an actual character, like an actual person. But let me know down below, and until then, I will see you real soon.